Okay, so welcome back students. Once again, I welcome you all on my this channel. So we were discussing about the financial decision in which we discussed that a financial manager has to majorly take these three decision. Financing decision means from where he will get the fund. So that is the source of finance. Then he need to discuss about the dividend decision, and we started with investment decision. Yes, you remember, and we have already discussed that what is capital budgeting and what are the factors which affect capital budgeting decision of a financial officer or financial manager. Now investment decision also includes this working capital, right? So we would be discussing the fixed capital decision also later on, but right now let us discuss first the working capital. Okay, so we will talk that what is working capital and then what are the factors which influence the requirement of working capital, right? So let us start now. Now let us first understand that what is working capital. You know, all the business require fixed assets. We understand it, we know it. But apart from this, the business organization also needs current assets, right? Now, what is current assets? Already you have discussed, studied this in your class 11 also in accountancy. You remember the types of assets, fixed assets, current assets. So we are talking about the same here. Now, about current assets, one thing you have to be very clear about it here, that these are usually more liquid in comparison to fixed assets, but they contribute less to the profit if you compare it to the fixed assets. Means the fixed assets contributes more to profit and current assets contribute less to profit. But current assets ensures sufficient liquidity. So if we invest more in current assets, then greater liquidity is ensured. But if you invest more in fixed assets, then the profitability would be ensured. So okay, just a reminder, I want to clarify it here that the assets can be classified in fixed assets and current assets. So what is assets? You know about it. As you know, fixed assets include land, machinery, building, plants, etc. And the current assets involve cash, the bank balance, then the deposits, short-term deposits, short-term investment, and the raw materials or the inventory. These are some of the example of the current assets. Now here I have shown few more example of the current assets, though you are all aware of it, so I won't discuss more about it. You just go through it. You can take the screenshot of this. Then what is current liabilities? The current liabilities are like bills payable, the creditors, outstanding expenses, means the expenses which you have to pay in future, and then if you have received something in advance from your customer, that also constitutes the current liabilities. So all your unearned revenues, uh, or the short-term payables, that will be in the current liabilities, even the accrued expenses also. Now the question is that what is net working capital? So very straight way and simple definition is that excess of current assets over current liabilities is equal to working capital. So we can say, as you can see here in the equation form, it has been shown current assets minus current liabilities. So if it is asked to you that how will you calculate the working capital, you say current assets minus current liabilities is equal to working capital. For example, you have suppose 1.75 millions of current assets and your current liabilities are 5,50,000. So if you deduct this from 1.75 million, you will get 1.2 million as the answer. So 1.2 million would be your working capital if your current liabilities are 5,50,000 and Current assets are 1.75 millions. Hope this is clear now. One more example I have taken here because I want it to be very clear in your mind. The whole concept of the working capital should be very clear in your mind. Then only actually you will understand it. Suppose take an example of a water tank. So in water tank there is a inflow, some like from the earth we get the water, or from the government supply we are getting the water. So in the tank the water is coming, that is what inflow, and then we have a tap or there is a pipe connected to entire supply of our home, so that is outflow, right? So if the inflow is more and outflow is less, then what will happen? Your tank would be filled with water always, and if it is too much then there would be overflow also, remember it. Okay, and if your outflow is more, right, and inflow is less, suppose there is no electricity and you could not fill your tank, water tank, what will happen? The consumption is still continuous, consumption is going on. So what will happen? The level of the water will come down like here, isn't it? Or it may come even down here also. Now as a good home manager or as a good housewife, you need to ensure that the water is filled up to a particular level. If it is too less, suppose this much water is only there, then also this is not a good situation. Means your water management would not be good. And if it is too much, like it is overflowing, then also it is not good. Now, just take this example in case of working capital. Then what will happen? Suppose your inflow is current assets, right? And outflow is current liabilities, right? Suppose you have too many current liabilities to pay. So what will happen? The working capital would be less. So you have lot of current assets and less current liabilities. Then what will happen? The working capital would be more. So this is representing the working capital, the water in the tank, and outflow is representing here the current liabilities, inflow is representing here the current assets. So as a good financial manager, it is your responsibility that the right amount of working capital should be available in the business. Correct? So now the question is that suppose you have a family of 10 members, right? Then what would be your water requirement? Obviously it will be more in comparison of a family where there are only 3 members. Same way it will vary business to business. There would be many factors which will influence the requirement of the working capital. So what are those factors? This is what we are going to discuss next. Before we discuss the factors, I would request all of you to go through the properly with this case which is given in your book, and I'm showing here also. So you just pause the video, read it properly, and then we will discuss next. Okay, so hope you have gone through that case which was given. Now let us talk about that what are the factors and how these are going to affect the working capital requirement of a business. See, there are so many factors and all these factors we would be discussing one by one. You can take the screenshot of this so that all the points you get at one place. The first one is nature of business. Nature of business means that what type of business you are doing. Means your business is a trading concern, a manufacturing concern, or a service industry, right? If it is your a trading concern, in that case the operating cycle of the business would be shorter. So in case of trading business, the operating cycle would be shorter. What is operating cycle? Operating cycle is the time duration starting from the procurement of goods, or you can say the raw materials, and ending with the sales realization, right? So in a trading concern, the operating cycle will include the length of time taken between procurement of goods and realization of sales revenue. So naturally, for a trading concern, in comparison to manufacturing company, it would be shorter. And you take the example of the manufacturing company, then what happens? The operating cycle of the manufacturing company, the length of time needed to complete the entire cycle would require conversion of cash into raw materials, number one. Then number two, conversion of raw materials into work in progress, and work in progress would be converted into finished goods, then conversion of finished goods into accounts receivables, right? Then conversion of accounts receivable into cash. So from the cash to cash, there are more steps. So naturally, in case of manufacturing concern, you need more working capital, and if it is a trading concern, you require less working capital, and if it is a service industry, then it is even less working capital in comparison to trading also, because then you need not to maintain inventory, you need not to maintain the stock, right? So naturally, then you require less working capital. So nature of business is a major factor which will determine that what type of your business, your working capital requirement would be. Second is a scale of operation. There are few business which operates at large scale, and there are some business which are operating at small scale, right? So if your business is operating at the large scale, you need more working capital because the inventory level, the debtors are generally high. And if the firm is operating at a small scale, they need less working capital because of low level of activity, correct? So this is very easy to understand. Now before discussing the third point, I want to discuss that what is business cycle. I'm sure many of you are from the business family, as I also had been. My father was a businessman. So whenever we used to demand something, we used to get the very fixed answer for this. Suppose the business is doing well, then what he will say, we cannot go on long vacation, we cannot go out because father is very busy, the business is doing well. Okay, now suppose business is not doing well, he is free, he is not having much work to do, then what he will say, that nowadays the business is not going well. So what we used to hear, that abhi धंधा थोड़ा मंदा चल रहा है, right? So in that case also he will deny, right? So whatever is in the business cycle, whether it is boom, when the business is doing really very well, like during some festivals, in market you will find lot of rush, everything is being sold in the market, that is boom. But after some time it start declining, correct? And then there is a phase which is called depression, like you must have experienced in this pandemic, and when everything was closed, no business activity were going on, or still there are some business which is in this phase only, depression, right? And then, but there is a hope, after some time when this lockdown would gradually go down, then the improvement will start, and then again we will experience the boom. So business cycle keep on doing like this, right? It will move on like this. It is not fixed that always it will be like this. It will keep on moving, ups and downs are always there. Opposite values are complementary, right? It will happen whether it is life or it is business. So this is called business cycle. Now, the working capital required for this stage would be different from this stage, right? The working capital requirement at this stage would be different from this stage. This is what we need to understand here. So what is being discussed here, that the requirement of working capital are determined by different phases of business cycle, right? If it is a boom period, during boom condition, more working capital is needed, as you can see here. If it is boom period, means the demand is high. If the demand is high, naturally the sales also would be more, and the production also we need to increase. So if demand is high, sales is high, production is high, naturally require more working capital. But opposite of this, if the depression is there, demand in the market would be low, and if the demand is low, sales naturally will go down, sales would be low, and then you cannot produce more when the sales is down. So in that case you require less working capital. Correct? So business cycle, different phases of the business cycle will determine different types of working capital requirement. Correct? Now there are certain seasonal factors that also influence the requirement of working capital. Suppose it's a peak season. Peak season means when for some business there is a season. Just take the example of the umbrella. Umbrella is not sold throughout the year. It has a particular season only when it is being sold in good numbers. Same way, woolen cloth. So there is a season when it will be sold in the market. In winter it will be sold more. Same way, in rainy season, the umbrella and the raincoat is more in demand. Correct? So there is a peak season or lean season. Correct? If the peak season is there, then the demand is high. And the demand is high, sales also would be high, production also would be high, and then you need more working capital. Correct? But if it is a lean season, then the demand would be low, sales also would be declining, and we need to produce less. So we need less working capital in that case. Now you have to understand this seasonal factors, that season would be different for trading concern and manufacturing concern, right? Like for trading concern, for woolen cloth, winter is the season when they have to sell it. But for manufacturing companies, they have to start manufacturing before winter comes, right? So this part also you will keep in your mind while deciding the peak season and lean season. Okay, this is I'm showing you here production cycle, how it takes place. Like you have cash, from the cash you will buy the raw materials, and this raw materials would get converted into work in progress, right? Manufacturing is being done, and then this work in progress get converted into finished goods, and this finished goods, if you are not selling it on cash sales basis, if you sell it on cash, then directly you will get the cash. But suppose it is a credit sales, then the receivables would be created, the receivables would be generated, and then from receivables you will get the cash back. So again you will reach here. So this is what a production cycle. So production cycle basically is what? A time span between receipt of raw materials and conversion of same into finished goods, you can call like that. So some business have a longer production cycle while some have a shorter one. So the duration and the length of the production cycle will affect the requirement of working capital. In case of firms with longer processing cycle, you need more working capital. And if the production cycle is short, you need less working capital, or you can manage within less working capital also. Correct? Now the credit policy of the business also determine the average time period needed to collect the sales proceed. Like different firms allow different type of credit terms to their customer, It depends on competition level and credit worthiness of the customer. So if the company is allowing the credit, you require more working capital. And if the company is not allowing credit, everything is on cash basis, or there are some companies which takes, you know, money in advance, then they supply. So if this type of situation is there, you require less working capital. But if your company, if your business is allowing credit facilities to their customers, it means you need more working capital. And the reverse is also a case, like credit availed. If you are getting the credit facilities from your suppliers, then you require less working capital because you want to buy the raw materials. So you need not to take the loan from the bank and then you have to pay to your supplier. The supplier is already ready to supply you goods on credit. So credit availed, if it is there, then you need less working capital. And if your supplier is not allowing you the credit, they are asking that you first pay money and then only will supply, or the moment I will supply you have to make me the payment, then you require more working capital. Yes, the next point is operating efficiency of the business. If the business is, efficient enough in its operation, or the high degree of operating efficiency is there in the organization, you need less working capital. But if your operating efficiency is low, you require more working capital. And how it can be assessed, how it can be calculated, if you have the, it can be determined by calculating the debtors turnover ratio. So the efficient management of raw materials would be reflected by higher inventory turnover ratio or higher debtor turnover ratio. It means now the firm has to manage with less stock, less inventory. If the stock turnover ratio or inventory turnover ratio is high. Similarly, a better turnover ratio will reduce the amount tied up in receivables. So, a better sales effort may reduce the average time for which the finished goods stock is held. Now, a better turnover ratio, if it is in the if it is the situation, then such efficiency will reduce the level of raw materials, will reduce the level of debtors also, right, and finished goods. So what would be the result of this? The lower requirement of working capital. On the other hand, a less efficient firm needs more working capital due to more investment in inventory and debtors, etc., right? Next is the availability of the raw materials. If the raw materials is easily available, one situation is this, right? And another is that you have difficulty in getting the raw materials. So if you have difficulty in getting the raw materials, you require more working capital. And if it is easily available, you just place the order, it will reach to you. If this is the situation, then you require less working capital. How does it happen? Actually, if the raw materials and other required materials are available freely and continuously, throughout the year, if it is available, then you need less working capital, as you need not to maintain the stock of the raw materials. Correct. However, if the business does not have easy access to raw materials, like in case of imported goods, you will place the order, then it will reach to you. And there are some raw materials which are available only once in a year. For example, a sugar manufacturing company, the sugar cane would be available at a particular point of time only, right? So if this is the situation, you require more working capital because higher inventory level would be maintained. In addition to that, the time gap is also important factor. The time gap between placing an order and actual receipt of material, that is, we call it lead time, right? So lead time means the difference between placing an order and actual receipt of material. So higher the lead time, higher the quantity of material to be stored, and higher is the amount of the working capital requirement also. Next is the growth prospect. There may be two type of business. One business which is growing. There is a lot of prospect to grow more. And one business which has already established its name, its reputation, its market. So there is no further growth prospect in that business, right? If the growth prospect is there, you require more working capital. If the growth prospect is not there, you require less working capital. It is as simple, because you need not to spend too much money. Already everything is settled, everything is established. You know that how you will get the supply of raw materials, and your customers are fixed. So in that case, you require less working capital. But if it is growing, naturally you require more working capital. Next point. In economics, you must have heard about the competition in the market, right? So if the competition is high, you require more working capital. If there is less competition in the market, like monopoly situation is there, you require less working capital in that case. It means that if the market is competitive, then company will have to adopt liberal credit policy, isn't it? And to supply goods on time. So higher stock, higher inventories have to be maintained. So you naturally need more working capital, correct? And a business with less competition or a monopoly situation will require less working capital, as it can dictate terms according to its own requirement, because they are in monopoly situation. Okay, this also you must have read into your economics, inflation and deflation, you remember? So if the economy is having a inflation situation, or inflation is high, then you require more working capital. And if the inflation is low, you require less working capital. How? Let us understand it. If there is an increase or rise in price, then the price of raw materials will also go up, and the cost of labor also will be rising. So it will result in an increase in working capital requirement. You need to pay more salary, you need to pay more for raw materials, isn't it? The lower labor cost is increasing, so you have to pay more, so you require more working capital. But if company is able to increase the price of its own goods as well as, then there will be less problem of working, right? The effect of rise in price on working capital will be different for different business. This is what you need to understand it here, correct? Now almost all the points I have mentioned here, I am showing you to you here, that nature of business, if it is manufacturing, working capital requirement is more. If it is trading or a service industry, then working capital requirement is less. Scale of operation, if it is large, more working capital. If it is small, less working capital. Business cycle, if it is a boom situation, more working capital. If it is recession, less working capital. Seasonal factors, if it is peak season, on season, right, then it is working capital requirement is more. If it is lean season or off season, then working capital requirement is less. Production cycle, if it is long, more. If it is short, less. Credit allowed, if it is, even though credit policy, if it is liberal or credit policy is there, you require more working capital. Strict, there is no credit allowed, then you require less working capital. Credit availed, if it is not there, you require more working capital. If it is there, you require less working capital. Operating efficiency, if it is high, you have very good operating efficiency in the organization, you require less working capital. If it is low, then you require more working capital. If the raw materials is available easily, you require less working capital. If it is difficult, you require more working capital. If the growth prospect is high, you require more working capital. If it is low, you require less working capital. Level of competition, if it is high, you require more working capital. If it is low, you require less working capital. Inflation, if it is there, it is high, you require more working capital. If it is not there, it is less, you require less working capital, right? So with these factors, you can easily learn it and remember it. Thanks to all of you. Thank you. Okay, now it is the time of homework. What you have to do, that whatever the factors we have discussed, each factors, now you once again analyze it and find out that what is the reason behind it. For example, credit allowed is one of the factor. So consider other examples also. Make your own example for each factors, that how actually this is going to affect the requirement of the working capital. What are the other reasons? Like some of the reason I have said, but what may be the other reasons? Find out that. This is the research work which you have to do now for all these factors. And if you face any problem, don't forget, I am always there for you. So please do this homework, and then in the next class we are going to discuss it thoroughly. So with this I would say thanks to all of you. Thank you.